Good morning, people. Let me tell you something. Everybody in this room has a gift. I don't care who you are, where you come from, what your situation is. God put something inside you that makes you different. Something that sets your soul on fire. And if you don't know what that is yet, you better start looking. Life is too short to be waking up every day dreading what you do. See, the problem ain't that people don't have passion. It's that they let fear talk them out of it. They let doubt creep in. They start listening to folks who ain't never chased nothing telling them what they can't do. Listen, if you keep hanging around people with no vision, don't be surprised when your dreams go blind. You got to get serious about your passion. You got to stop making excuses and start making moves. You think successful people just got lucky? No. They put in the work when nobody was watching. They stayed up late. They sacrificed. They heard no 1,000 times, but didn't let it break them. Let me tell you something. Your passion will test you. Oh, it's going to put you through it. You'll fail. You'll mess up. People will laugh. And right when you think about giving up, that's when you got to dig deep. Because on the other side of that struggle is everything you ever wanted. See, God didn't put that dream in you for no reason. If it's in you, it's for you. But you got to chase it like your life depends on it, because it does. So I don't care how old you are, how much money you got, or what your past looks like. Today is the day you stop settling. Today is the day you make a decision. Because if you don't go after your passion, you'll spend your whole life working for somebody who did. Now, get out there and make it happen. Everybody walking this earth has something inside them that makes them unique. It's not just talent, it's a gift. The thing that comes naturally to you, the thing that excites you, the thing you can do for hours and not even realize time has passed. That's your gift. Some people can sing like angels. Some people can build things with their hands. Some people have a way with words. Some people can cook like their soul is in the food. And here's the thing, nobody else has your exact gift because it was put inside you for a reason. But see, a lot of folks go through life never realizing what they've been given. Not because it isn't there, but because they've been too busy listening to the world tell them what they should be doing instead of tuning into what they were made to do. They let society, family, or fear push them into a box that don't even fit them. They take jobs that drain their energy, live routines that don't inspire them, and convince themselves that passion is just a hobby when it was meant to be their purpose. Your gift isn't just some random thing you like to do, it's tied to your destiny. It's the thing that, if you put in the effort, can open doors you never thought possible. And the funny thing is, the people who succeed in life aren't always the smartest, the richest, or the luckiest. They're the ones who figured out what their gift was and leaned into it with everything they had. The reason so many people struggle is that they ignore the thing they were born to do. They see it as something small, something unimportant. But let me tell you, whatever that thing is, whether it's making people laugh, fixing cars, painting, organizing, writing, teaching, creating, if it's truly your gift, then it has the power to change your life. The problem is most folks don't believe their passion can be their career. They think if it's not something traditional, something with a guaranteed paycheck, then it's not worth pursuing. But look around you. Every successful person, every innovator, every leader, every icon, they got to where they are because they followed what they were passionate about. They didn't let doubt stop them. They didn't let naysayers kill their dreams. They understood that their passion wasn't just for fun, it was for life. See, passion ain't just about enjoyment, it's about purpose. You ever wonder why you feel so drained doing things you don't love? Why you feel unfulfilled even when you're getting a paycheck? That's because you're not operating in your gift. When you work in your gift, even the hard days don't feel wasted. Even the struggles don't make you want to quit. You wake up with a sense of excitement because you're doing what you were meant to do. But too many people spend their lives ignoring the thing that makes them feel alive. They get stuck in survival mode, just trying to make ends meet, too afraid to take a risk on themselves. They trade their passion for security, not realizing that the real security is in mastering the thing they were born to do. And let's talk about the folks who know their gift, but don't use it. The ones who say, yeah, I love to do that, but I don't have time, or I'm good at it, but I can't make money from it. Or maybe in another life. Let me tell you something. There ain't no other life. This is it, right here, right now. And if you don't honor your gift, if you don't nurture it, if you don't put in the work to grow it, you are wasting something priceless. Your gift is your way out, your way up, your way forward. But you have to be willing to trust it. You have to believe that it was given to you for a reason, and that reason is bigger than just making ends meet. It's bigger than just getting by. It's about impact. It's about fulfillment. It's about legacy. Some of y'all are sitting on $1 million ideas, but won't move because you're waiting for the perfect time. You're waiting for a sign. You're waiting for somebody to come tell you it's okay to chase your dreams. Well, here's your sign. Nobody is going to hand you permission. Nobody is going to say, hey, it's your turn. You have to decide it's your turn. You have to take that first step, even if it's scary, even if you don't have all the answers, even if you don't know where it's going to lead. Think about the most successful people you know. Do you think they had it all figured out when they started? No, they just knew they had something inside them that they couldn't ignore. They took that talent, that passion, that gift, and they ran with it. They made mistakes, they stumbled, but they never stopped. And now people look at them and call them lucky. But it wasn't luck. It was obedience to their calling. You got to stop playing small. Stop treating your gift like it's some side thing when it's the main thing. Stop waiting for someone to validate what you already know inside. If it brings you joy, if it sets your soul on fire, if it's the thing you can't stop thinking about, that's your gift. And don't tell me you don't have one. Everybody's got something. The problem is people compare their gift to others and think it's not valuable. Just because your gift isn't flashy doesn't mean it's not powerful. Maybe you're the best problem solver in the room. Maybe you have a way of connecting with people. Maybe you have a mind that sees opportunities where others see obstacles. That's a gift. But if you don't recognize it, if you don't use it, then it's just wasted potential. You don't want to get to the end of your life and realize you spent all your time ignoring the very thing that could have changed everything for you. You don't want to look back and say, I wish I had tried. You don't want to let fear rob you of what was already yours. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter where you come from. Your gift doesn't care about any of that. What matters is whether or not you're willing to trust it. Because once you do, once you take that leap, once you put in the work, the doors will start opening, the opportunities will start coming. But you have to make the first move. Fear and doubt have been killing dreams since the beginning of time. Not because people aren't talented, not because they don't have what it takes, but because they let that little voice in their head talk them out of it. That voice that says, what if you fail? That voice that whispers, you're not good enough. That voice that makes you look at everybody else succeeding and makes you feel like you'll never measure up. Let me tell you something. If you listen to that voice, you will never move forward. You will sit on your dreams until they rot. And one day you will wake up wondering what could have been if you had just tried. Fear is a liar. It's designed to keep you still, to keep you comfortable, to keep you safe. But safe don't get you anywhere. Safe don't build legacies. Safe don't create wealth. Safe don't make history. You got to be willing to step outside of what's comfortable, because everything you want is on the other side of fear. But see, fear is sneaky. It don't always come in loud and obvious. It comes disguised as logic, as common sense, as just being realistic. It'll have you believing that you're making the smart choice by staying put, when really you're just scared to take a risk on yourself. And doubt is fear's best friend. Doubt will creep into your mind and make you question everything. It will have you second guessing yourself, wondering if you're even qualified to do what you're dreaming of. Doubt will have you comparing yourself to people who've been in the game for years and making you think you're not worthy to even start. You look at successful people and tell yourself they have something special that you don't. You'll convince yourself that they had advantages you didn't have. But let me tell you something. They had doubts too. They had fears too. The only difference is they didn't let them win. The truth is, nobody is fearless. Everybody who has ever achieved anything great was scared at some point, but they moved anyway. That's the difference between people who make it and people who don't. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not connections, it's the ability to feel fear and move anyway. The ability to hear the doubt and do it anyway. The ability to stand in front of people who don't believe in you and keep going anyway. People love to say, what if it doesn't work out? But what if it does? What if that thing you're scared to start is the thing that changes your life? What if that dream you keep pushing aside is the one thing that could take you to the next level? What if you're only one decision away from everything you've been praying for? But you'll never know if you let fear win. Fear will keep you in the same job you hate for 20 years. Fear will keep you in the same town you outgrew. Fear will keep you around the same people who don't believe in you. Fear will have you settling for an average life when greatness is right there waiting for you to claim it. But you got to take the first step. And the first step is making up your mind that you will not let fear stop you. You got to stop waiting until you feel ready. You got to stop waiting for perfect conditions. You got to stop waiting for somebody to give you permission. Nobody is coming to push you into your destiny. Nobody is going to wake you up one day and say, today is the day you finally chase your dreams. You have to decide that for yourself. You have to get up even when you're scared, even when you don't have all the answers, even when you don't know what's next, and just take that first step, and just take that first step. Take that first step. See, fear and doubt feed off each other. The more you doubt, the more you fear. The more you fear, the more you doubt. And before you know it, you've talked yourself out of the very thing that could change your life. But here's the good news. Courage works the same way. The more you push past your fear, the stronger you get. The more you prove to yourself that you can do hard things, the more confidence you build. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And eventually, you start realizing that fear don't control you anymore. It may still show up, but it doesn't make your decisions for you. And let me tell you something. People who ain't never chased their own dreams will be the first ones to tell you that you can't chase yours. They'll project their fears onto you. They'll remind you of all the ways it could go wrong. They'll list out every possible reason why you should stay where you are. And if you're not careful, you'll listen to them. You'll let their fears become your fears. You'll let their doubts become your doubts. And before you know it, you've let somebody else's insecurities rob you of your destiny. You can't let that happen. You can't let people who ain't never done what you're trying to do tell you what's possible. You can't take advice from folks who gave up on their own dreams. If you're going to listen to anybody, listen to the ones who made it. Listen to the ones who started with nothing and built something. Listen to the ones who failed, got back up, and kept going. because those are the people who know what it takes. Those are the people who understand that fear is part of the process, but it doesn't have to be the end of the story. The hardest part is the beginning. The moment when you decide to start is the moment when fear and doubt will scream the loudest. But once you take that first step, once you start moving, fear starts to lose its power. Doubt starts to shrink. Because now you're proving to yourself that you can do it. Now you're building momentum. Now you're stepping into who you were meant to be. And let me tell you, the first time you push past fear, it changes you. The first time you do something you thought you couldn't do, it shifts your whole mindset. Because now you know you're stronger than you thought. You're more capable than you believed. You're not as limited as you made yourself out to be. And once you get a taste of that, there's no going back. So you got to stop waiting until you're not scared anymore. You got to stop waiting until you have all the answers. You got to stop letting doubt keep you in a life that doesn't fulfill you. Fear is always going to be there. Doubt is always going to be there. But they don't have to run your life. You get to choose. You get to decide. And once you make up your mind that fear and doubt will not win, that's when everything starts to change. Hard work is the separator. It's the thing that stands between people who dream and people who achieve. Everybody wants success. Everybody wants to live their passion. Everybody wants to be great at something. But the ones who get there aren't the ones who just want it. They're the ones who work for it. Because passion without work is just a wish. You can have all the talent in the world. You can have all the potential. But if you don't put in the effort, if you don't sacrifice, if you don't stay committed when things get hard, you're never going to see the results you want. See, people love to make excuses. They'll say, I don't have the right connections. I don't have enough money. I wasn't born into the right circumstances. But let me tell you something. Success don't care about none of that. Hard work beats every excuse. Hard work is the one thing you have full control over. You may not control where you came from. You may not control what opportunities you've had so far, but you do control how much effort you put in. You do control whether or not you wake up every day and grind. You do control whether you push forward when everybody else is making excuses. The truth is, most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they lack discipline. They fail because they want it to be easy. They fail because they thought chasing their passion was supposed to feel good all the time. Let me tell you, anything worth having is going to come with struggle. Anything worth achieving is going to test you. You're going to have to wake up earlier than everybody else. You're going to have to go to bed later. You're going to have to miss out on parties, turn down distractions, and lock in when nobody else is willing to. The ones who make it aren't necessarily the smartest or the most gifted. They're the ones who outworked everybody else. They're the ones who stayed late when everyone else went home. They're the ones who practiced longer, studied harder, and pushed past their own limits. They're the ones who didn't wait to be motivated, didn't wait for perfect conditions, didn't wait for somebody to tell them it was their turn. They took their turn. They made it happen because they refused to accept anything less. Hard work is the price of admission for success. You don't get to skip it. You don't get to cheat the process. Everybody wants the reward, but few are willing to pay the price. And the price is sacrifice. The price is consistency. The price is doing the hard things when you don't feel like it. Because motivation is temporary. It'll get you started, but it won't keep you going. The only thing that keeps you going is discipline. The only thing that keeps you going is deciding that quitting is not an option. See, most people love to start things. They get excited in the beginning. They tell everybody about their plans. They post about it. They dream about it. But the moment it gets hard, the moment they hit an obstacle, the moment they realize it's not happening as fast as they thought, they give up. They say, maybe it's not meant to be. They say, maybe I'm not good enough. No, you just weren't willing to put in the work long enough to see the results. You weren't willing to struggle through the tough part. because there's always a tough part. There's always a phase where it feels like nothing is working. There's always a point where you start questioning yourself. But the people who succeed are the ones who keep going through that phase. The ones who push through the part where most people quit. People love to look at successful individuals and say they got lucky. But they didn't see the years of grind that came before the success. They didn't see the late nights, the early mornings, the failures, the rejections, the moments of doubt that had to be overcome. Nobody talks about the work. They only talk about the results. But if you want the results, you got to be willing to do the work that nobody claps for. The work that happens in the dark. The work that happens when nobody is watching. You have to understand that success is built in the moments that feel insignificant. The moments when you choose to keep going even when you don't feel like it. The moments when you practice even when nobody's watching. The moments when you make the choice to show up day after day, no matter how hard it gets. Those small choices add up. Those little sacrifices stack on top of each other. And before you know it, you look up and realize you're standing in the place you once dreamed of being, but only if you put in the work. Hard work requires patience. Too many people give up because they don't see results fast enough. They start something, and when they don't blow up overnight, they quit. They don't realize that every great thing takes time, that every overnight success was actually years in the making, that the people they admire once stood in the same place, wondering if their hard work would ever pay off. The only difference is they didn't stop. They kept going when others quit. You have to fall in love with the process. You have to learn to enjoy the grind, enjoy the journey, enjoy the struggle, because that's where growth happens. That's where character is built. That's where you separate yourself from the people who just say they want it. Everybody talks a good game, but very few back it up with action. Very few are willing to go all in. Very few are willing to put in the years of effort it takes to become great at something. And let's be real, hard work is lonely. It means missing out on things. It means not everybody will understand why you're working so hard. It means some people will call you crazy, tell you to take a break, tell you to slow down. But those same people will be the ones calling you lucky when they see what all that hard work led to. They'll be the ones saying, I wish I had your success. But they weren't willing to put in what you put in. The question is, are you willing? Are you willing to push past exhaustion? Are you willing to work when nobody believes in you? Are you willing to show up even when the results don't show up right away? Are you willing to bet on yourself when nobody else does? Because that's what separates winners from dreamers. Not luck, not talent, not who they know, just work. The willingness to do what others won't. The willingness to go the extra mile when everybody else stops at the first one. The willingness to fail, get up, and keep going. The willingness to put in the effort long enough to see the results. Because at the end of the day, success don't respond to excuses. It don't respond to feelings. It don't respond to people who kind of want it. It responds to effort. It responds to consistency. It responds to the people who refuse to quit. And if you're willing to be one of those people, there is nothing stopping you from getting exactly where you want to be.